and my fast friend Dwarkadaji Bhutada. We usually call him as Bhau. Vice Chairman Vishwas Jadhav sir, Secretary Rahul Dharne sir, Treasurer CA Mahesh Tushnewal sir, Vikasa Chairman Eknath Dharmadhikari sir, and member Nilesh Bajaj. Thank you very much, all of you, for inviting me to share my views on the topic Lfar. And I also wish you all the best for this term, and I hope you will get good prizes at WRC level. Thank you so much for your kind introduction also. Now, shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, presentation on Lfar? Yes,
yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Friends, normally, every act we are having some sort of formats for audit, and bank audit is no excuse. We are having a format as Lfar, long form audit report. This long form audit report, we have to submit it to the management and to the statutory auditors, central statutory auditors at branch level. Long form audit report helps the central statutory auditor to compile and form an audit report for their zone, for various branches. Normally, the object of Lfar is internal control, to cover operational areas with advances, to cover operational risk. Lfar can help to warn, early warning signal in case of frauds. Lfar was firstly introduced in the year 1985. The same was subsequently revised in the year 1993 and 2003, and now again in 2021. Lfar is to be submitted by the auditors of public sector banks, private sector banks, and foreign banks, including their branches. Current format is applicable from the year 31st March 2021. Generally, Lfar is a questionnaire which should be thoroughly studied before drafting our main audit report. We should plan the Lfar along with statutory audit right from day one. While we are starting our branches, we can allot number of days to each branch. 2 days, 3 days we have to allot. And from day one, we have to prepare how to fill our Lfar with our statutory main audit report. Use this questionnaire as an audit tool for planning the audit. Complete and submit main audit report as well as Lfar simultaneously. Now, in new Lfar, we are expected to give illustrative answers, not vague answers. Normally, yes, no, not applicable, we were writing in past, before 2021. But from 2021, RBI is expecting that we should give illustrative answers to Lfar questions. Be specific while replying Lfar. No vague or general comment should be there. Give instances of shortcoming or weaknesses. Do not make current year's Lfar as a replica of previous year. What happened? Normally, our staff or the bank officer, they are helping us to write Lfar questionnaires. They are helping us to write the comments or remarks in the Lfar. But it should not be the true process. It is not correct process. We should write our comments, our remarks in the Lfar. What we are getting what we are finding in the branch audit, we should take a note of each and every item, and we should write in our remarks and comments while completing the LFR. Branch LFR should be addressed to bank's chairman, and a copy thereof should be sent to the central statutory auditor so that they can form or they can compile their LFR for the zone on the basis of our information. Main audit report and LFR are two separate reports. Comments in LFR should not be qualificatory in nature, right? While drafting LFR, we should not have qualificatory remarks in our LFR, but it should be in our main audit report. Include audit qualification in main audit report and not in LFR. Main audit report should be a self-contained document. LFR should be sufficiently detailed and quantified for expeditious consolidation and rectification by the bank. Am I going proper, or is there somewhat speedy? Is this speed proper? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Chairman, sir?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, speed is proper, or should I slow down something? Okay. LFR not a substitution to this of the statutory auditor report. Neither a part of the said report. LFR is actually a management report. Every adverse comment would not result in qualification in main audit report. Complete LFR before main report. These are prospective alerts I am discussing here before starting the main LFR. Okay. Major categories in LFR are assets, liabilities, profit and loss account, and general. As far as asset is concerned, everything of a business or of company is depend on the asset side of that company. Liability side is also equally important as far as bank is concerned, because in liabilities, deposits we have to repay. It is more important than our assets, because deposits can be asked, demanded by anyone, anytime. While in case of our assets, loans and advances which we have disbursed may not come within the same time when we are disbursing it for that term. It may have to enhance the term or to reduce the term. As far as profit and loss account is concerned, the whole theme of any business revolves around this profit and loss account. Just like business or of proprietorship company, bank is also concerned about the profit and loss account of their branches and as a zone and as a bank as a whole. In case of assets, there are certain items, cash, balances with bank, SBI, RBI, other banks, money at call and short notice, investments, advances, and other assets. We will go one by one to each item of the asset side. In case of asset side, first item is cash, the most liquid item, cash, and the most vulnerable item, cash. We have to verify cash normally at the beginning of the working hours. Branches certainly carry cash in excess of their retention limit. Adequate insurance cover of the cash in hand and cash in transit should be there, but many a times we find branch authorities are replying us that insurance is taken care at head office level. It is true, but they are not having a single letter from head office that this much insurance cover is taken for your branch. So ask for insurance copy also at branch level. Ask cash retention limit from head office, what amount of cash they can keep in their custody in for their business. Also look into the matter that cash should be kept in joint custody of the bank officials, cashier and bank officials or manager. Normally small branches maintain cash in single custody, single official custody because of sort of staff. Please check whether cash balance is checked at proper intervals by branch officials or by outsiders. Sometimes inter-branch officers are coming to verify cash at periodic time. We can take this from the cash book that whether the cash was verified in between, surprise check was there by branch officials, other branch officials or not. As mentioned in management letter dated so and so by head office or regional office, while letter dated so and so, the cash retention limit was fixed for rupees say 10 lakhs. Ask for the photocopy of that letter, whether it was produced or not to you. You can verify the cash retention limit from that letter. You can go through the cash ledger and find out whether the cash was in excess of the retention limit and how many times it was in excess of the retention limit. In this example, I am highlighting the 105 occasions cash was in excess of the retention limit. On 54 occasions, it was exceeded 40 lakhs, means 4 times more than the retention limit. Cash in excess of retention limit was reported or not reported to the controlling authorities. This we should take from the branch officials, manager, and it should be in writing. We should ask for cash retention limit letter duly authorized by the head office officials, and we should take that copy from the branch manager, certified copy, that cash retention limit this much is given to us from the head office, that we should take from the branch manager. A certificate from branch manager stating that the excess cash holding is being reported to the controlling authority on timely or regular basis is also, we should ask for that letter from the bank manager. Now we will move to balances with RBI, SBI and other banks. Cash transactions remaining unresponded. What happens? Many a time we are depositing cash, but due to late hours, it may not be reflecting in our books. Nowadays it will not happen because CBS system is online time processing is there. Revenue items requiring adjustments or write-off. Items deserve special attention. Old outstanding balances remaining unexplained or unadjusted. Nowadays, old outstanding balances remaining unexplained or unadjusted, I am not finding such type of items since almost every bank is in CBS, and on real time, each and every item is getting rectified, reconciled within time. Now we move to next item of asset is investment. Most of the time we are finding that branches are not having investments. They are at HO level. Investment portfolio is managed at HO level. For safe custody at some branches, investments were kept by head office at that branch. So we have to verify whether the head office has kept investment certificates at that branch as a for safe custody, and we have to verify it physically. Physically verify investment through certificates from the register maintained by the bank, by the branch about the investments, whether dividend or interest issued or not or credited to HO account, we have to check it about investments. We have to also verify if the branch is having investment, whether it is held for maturity or held for trading. If it is held for maturity, we have to verify whether the due date is over or not. Also, we have to verify the investments which are near to maturity or matured, due date is over, whether action is taken or not on that. Investments 2. Income on investment kept at branch for safe custody reported to head office. Normally, this is only for safety purpose. There is no relation about the income or investment at branch level. We have to look in the investment matter about the maturity or overdue investment that should be encashed within time. RBI guidelines regarding valuation of investments were complied or not. If the branch is having investment at branch level, whether the RBI guidelines regarding valuation of investments were complied or not, we have to verify it. And if the same were not complied, we have to report in our main audit as well as in our Lfar. Now, the most important aspects, advances from both perspectives, as this and from the crux of the bank branch audit. We have to verify advances. There is one small criteria given by RBI that outstanding amount is in excess of 5% of the aggregate advances of the bank or rupees 2 crore, whichever is less. All advances we have to verify. 5% means aggregate advances are 40 crores and above, then we have to verify and report advances for 2 crores and above. For branches having advances less than 40 crores, in that case, we have to take 5% of the aggregate advances. Say 32 crores branch is there, then we have to look advances for 1.6 crores and above. Every advances we have to report. On that advances, we have to verify the documentation part, the power of branch officials, whether the powers were exceeded or not, whether the documents were, financial documents were properly kept at branch, their mortgage formalities, their charge creation formalities are completed or not. In all respects, we have to verify and we have to report. For advances, 5% of the aggregate advances or rupees 2 crore, whichever is less. So for 2 crores and more advances, if the branch is having 40 crores plus advances, then automatically 2 crores and above advances we have to report. Fresh loans, whether appraised properly or not, whether adverse remarks of the field officer are overruled by seniors. You have to check the fresh loans thoroughly and in total. There is no criteria about the 5% and 2 crores. We have to verify each and every loan document for advances which are disbursed and sanctioned during the year under audit. Normally, in statutory audit, we are concerned about the advances having some limit in our mind. We are segregating advances from this amount. We have to verify up to this amount. Okay, for every fresh loan advances cannot be verified by us because of time during the statutory audit period. Sensitive areas should be identified in case of real estate advances, securities, commodities, etc. Housing loan. In case of housing loan, we have to take some precautions. whether the housing loans are disbursed and sanctioned to the proper person in whose name the plot was there, sanction map, sanction plan by the authorities, local authorities, estimate from engineers, then stage-wise completion certificate from the architects. All documents should be there. And after completing of the house construction, the insurance of that house should be taken. Sometimes bank are asking from day one insurance of the house property and of the borrower, so that in case of the demise of the borrower, their family should not suffer to repay the loan amount. Advances given to a specific group during the year. You have to verify whether the branch has given advances to a specific group or not. Loans approved by the authority just prior to his transfer or retirement. We have to look whether the branch manager or officer have approved any loan just before his transfer or retirement. Stipulated installments and interest were paid or not regularly by the borrowers. You have to look into the matter very seriously. We have to look this item, that whether the advances sanctioned or disbursed during the year are not turning to NPA within same year. Terms and conditions of the loan are complied or not. Credit facility sanctioned beyond delegated authority or limit fixed by the bank or head office. This is the most important part. Many times we are not taking cognizance whether the branch officials or bank manager has power to sanction this loan or not. So for that, we should have a copy about the powers of the branch officials, bank managers for sanctioning of the loan, and that copy is available with the branch officials from the head office. So keep the copy along with our documents, working papers, as your supporting document, that the branch officials are having powers to sanction so much loans. And if any case which is not within the power of the bank officials, you have to report in Lfar and as well as in your main audit report. Normally it will not happen, but as a precautionary measure it should be taken. Review, monitoring and supervision. The crux of advances is review, monitoring and supervision. Assess procedure for periodic balance confirmation, acknowledgement of debts. Many times branch officials are not asking for confirmation of acknowledgement of debt from the borrower for number of years, 2, 3 years, 4 years. Every year that periodic balance confirmation should be taken from the borrower. This is the part of bank officials. They should take balance confirmation from the borrower every year. Analysis of accounts overdue for review or renewal between 6 months to 1 year and above 1 year. Many times what happen, cash credit limits are overdue but not renewed or reviewed within that period. If the same is not reviewed or renewed, that will be categorized as NPA. We are not bothering about the renewal or review. Many a times, number of cases pending for renewal, number of cases pending for review, and these will affect the NPA categorization. Please look in this item in detail. Many a times, cash credit limits are not reviewed or renewed due to non-submission of financial statements or documents by the borrower. it is our duty to take the list of such cases which are pending for renewal. Again, there is one more item in case of cash credit limits, stock statements or debtor statements, and periodic operational data or financial statement were not received from the borrower by the bank officials. Bank officials are not asking repeatedly about the stock statements. If stock statements were not submitted for more than 3 months, the account will be shifted to non-performing asset, and after 6 months, it will be categorized as non-performing. After 3 months, it will be categorized as overdue. After 6 months, it should be categorized as NPA. Again, physical verification of securities charged to the bank. We are not concerned about the physical securities which are mortgaged with the bank, whether proper charge was created or not on that. It should be looked properly. Many a times mortgage formalities are over, but charge creation are pending due to the other authorities which are not following proper procedures to create charge of the bank on that property. So prepare a list that whether charge has been created or not up within 30 days from the procedures of sanction and mortgage formalities of the assets. Frequent or unauthorized overdrawing beyond limits. Many times what happen due to our personal relations or due to the relations of the with the borrower, the bankers allow overdrawing beyond limits. Whether the same year authorized by the bank officials or not, it should be looked into by the auditors. Frequent and unauthorized overdrawings are there in any case, it should be reported at proper place. Guidelines of security creation, asset inspection, insurance, etc. in case of leasing finance activities. What happen in case of leasing finance activities? Asset inspection, insurance, etc. were not taken care by the bank official as much as it required. So we as auditors should thoroughly check the securities as per the guidelines issued by the head office. Branch should identify and classify advances into standard, substandard, doubtful assets as per RBI norms. We normally call this as IRAC norms, income recognition and asset classification norms. Physical verification of securities charged to bank should be taken in due course of our audit. If possible, 1 or 2 visits should be given to the borrower's place for physical verification of securities, whether the bank has physically verified or not that securities. We can have confirmation about the bank official working. Now, bank guarantees and LCs. These are non-fund based limits. We have to critically scrutinize the sanctioning, defaults or invocations, sanctioning huge non-fund based limits without proper margins, whether the branch has sanctioned huge and non-fund limits to any person without having proper margin. Exposure of such facilities to certain parties are there or not. Any institution person is taking bank guarantee or letter of credit from the bank on his through his influence without having proper documents or proper margin. Whether opening of such documents are for genuine trade transactions or not, we have to look it in properly. Now, last item of asset side is stationery and stamp. Normally, the security stationery should be in dual control of the bank officials, just like cash, just like gold packets. Internal control over issue and custody of security items should be in dual, like TDRs, draft, pay orders, checkbook, gift checks, etc. If we find any item which is lost or missing of such security stationery, we should report in our LFR and in our main audit report also. While verifying these security stationery items, each and every item with numbers, serial numbers, and as per record maintained by the branch should be verified. If any missing item is there, we should report it on proper place. Now, suspense account and sundry assets. Normally, after CPS of the bank, suspense account are hardly for 1 or 2 days. I think it is also rectified within a short period of time. So adjustment accounts where some debit transactions are temporarily posted whose authorization is pending for approval, whether expeditious clearance of items debited, reasons for delay in adjusting entries, irrevocable balances provisioning, unusual items in these accounts. We have to verify these things thoroughly, and if anything is missing, we should report at this in this part of LFR. Now, asset part is over. We will move to liabilities. In case of bank, liabilities are much more important than the assets because we have to repay the amount to the depositors. We have to pay the liabilities within time frame to the person to whom we have to pay the liabilities. In case of deposits, in case of liabilities, there are 3 items: deposit, other liabilities, and contingent liabilities. We will look one by one. In deposits, check thoroughly the accounts which are open newly. In case of new account open, we have to verify KYC of the account holders. Account open and close soon. We have to verify these accounts so that within 6 months or 1 year, the same account is open and closed only for specific reason, only for specific purpose, only for specific transactions. If we find anything which is having high value transaction and account was open only for that purpose, we should report as our moral responsibility to avoid Money Laundering Act. Okay. Anti-Money Laundering Act, heavy transaction during a period, only clearing entries appear in the account. No actual deposit or withdrawals are there, only for clearing and withdrawing of the checks. Account is open. Press entries to see final deposit or withdrawal in which account and report it at proper place in the LFR. Accounts of different parties proposed by single person or group. Many a times what happens nowadays, RBI has removed the compulsion of having introducer for opening the account. But many a times what happens, a single person or group of person, they are proposing to number of parties for opening accounts. We should look if any such person or group who is allowing to introduce number of parties, different parties for opening accounts. One more item is there, overdue or mature term deposit at the year end. This item is also around to be complete as a matter of auto renewal system implemented in bank overdue or mature term deposit, mostly we are not finding this type of items. If auto renewal system is not implemented or not taken by the depositor, only in that case overdue or mature term deposit will remain at year end. Otherwise, auto renewal system, if implemented by the bank, no matured or overdue deposit we will find. In case of accounts, inoperative or dormant account, this is most important part while verifying deposits. As an auditor, we have to look in. In case of inoperative accounts, if the accounts which are inoperative are getting regularized during our period of audit, so in that case, we will look in the matter in the account with how the movement in inoperative accounts are moving. Whether the account was authorized by the branch officials properly after verifying the KYC documents or not. Procedure or guidelines which are prescribed by the head office were followed or not. If guidelines and procedures prescribed by the head office are not followed, we should report. Transfer of such account from operative accounts ledger should be verified. If unusual or large movement in aggregate deposits held at the year end after the balance sheet date, in such account, the same should be reported by the auditor in Lfar and in main audit report also. In case of sundry deposits and bills payable, adjustment accounts in which certain credit transactions are temporarily posted, whose authorization is pending for approval. You can take a breakup year-wise, or each old entry, you should take details of that old entry, whether register maintained by the bank officials for such entries, check movement in old entries and its authorization. In case of sundry deposit and bills payable, you have to look whether proper authorization is given by the bank officials or not for that old entries, register is maintained or not, movement of such old entries and its authorization by the branch officials. You should look in such matters. This is the last part of liability side, contingent liabilities. Ensure that all contingent liabilities are identified and disclosed at the balance sheet date. What is meant by contingent liabilities? The liabilities which may or may not arise in future, and the branch should identify such items and should report at the end of the year in its balance sheet, and its impact on the capital adequacy also. Now, profit and loss account. In case of profit and loss account, we have to check the discrepancies in interest rate or discount. Income recognitions norms were followed or not by the bank. System of estimating and providing interest accrued on investment or deposit, overdue or mature term deposit, etc. We have to look into the matter. Divergent trends in major items of income and expenditure. In case of income, whether any item is not properly accounted for in case of income, and in case of expenditure, whether any expenditure is at higher side, it is mentioned in the profit and loss account. We should look into the matter as we have to compare it with last year's figures. Profit and loss account, interest on advances. We should not rely on the software or the computer while checking the interest which is applied to the advances. Various types of products are there. Each product have different rate of interest we have to apply. So in that case, we should manually check in some cases for the test check purpose basis that interest which is applied to that loan account is properly applied or not. Do not rely on the software or the computer generated system sheets that interest is properly applied. Please check for some cases of various products whether rate of interest applied to that product is properly calculated or not. If any error or observation that interest rate is not properly applied or interest is not properly calculated, it should be reported. Also, if the error which we observed while calculating interest on advances, whether it is beneficial to some borrowers or group of borrowers, we should look into that also. And if that is the case, we should report in Lfar as well as in main audit report. This is for interest on advances. Same as in case of deposit, test check if errors are benefited to few depositors or group of depositors. Effect of change in accounting policies on items of income and expenditure, the same should be reported if any discrepancies we are getting from our test check basis. Profit and loss account, commission income. Check sudden fruit in commission income from guarantees and LCs is there. Whether number of guarantees or LCs were issued during the course of our audit, we should look into that matter also. Whether rate of commissions are normal or exaggerated commission is taken from the account holder, we should check on some accounts so that our audit purpose will be fulfilled. Check sanctions and developments whether income is from few parties only. Variance analysis. Normally, we should take interest to weighted average deposit and advances, compare with current year and previous year. If there is differences in large amounts or large percentage, we should take variance analysis and we should report on that. Check system to detect discrepancies in interest and discount and for timely adjustment thereof. If discrepancies exist in many cases, consider its impact and ascertain qualification in auditor's report. In case of variance analysis, if we find interest on average basis to deposit and advances, it should be compared with previous year figures. And if much variance is there, it should be reported and in this profit and loss account. Now the fourth part of Lfar is general. Books and records, reconciliation of control and subsidiary records, inter-branch accounts, audits and inspection, frauds, miscellaneous. These are the items which are falling in the categories of general reporting. In case of Lfar, we have seen assets, liabilities, profit and loss account. And this fourth part is general. First three parts were based on the financial aspects. Now the general part is based on the books and record keeping of the branch. Inter-branch account. Branch forwards on a daily basis to a designated cell or head office a statement of debit and credit transactions in relation to the other branches. Fraud from areas, outstanding debts in the head office account in respect of inter-branch transactions, isolated old or large outstanding transaction entries at the year end, which remain unexplained. Major adverse comment arising out of the latest report of the previous auditors, concurrent auditors, stock auditors, or internal auditors or RBI inspectors. We have to report on the fraud prone areas in the general category of the LFR. Inter-branch accounts check effectiveness of systems of identifying errors. Branch daily statement, originating branch and originating transactions. Inter-branch reconciliation department and responding branch and responding transaction. We have to check these areas so that any unresponding item should not be left before day 8 at any branch. Whether the branch responds promptly to advice received from head office, whether the branch is expeditious in clearance of high value entries, whether IBR statements are regularly received from head office and promptly attended, whether branch has returned details on IBR statement for pending entries, test check of IBR statement to ascertain existence of high value items, whether originating debit entries, cash transactions are reconciled within the reasonable period of time. We have to report all these items at general category of the LFR. Now, most important aspect is frauds. Many a times we are through our side not looking at the branch to be a fraud prone area, but in branches sometimes it may happen that unintentionally some mistakes will be happen by the branch officials and it may turn to be a fraud in future. Particulars of fraud discovered during the year together with recommendation to minimize recurrence. Obtain register of frauds. Recommend ways and means to minimize occurrence of frauds. We should recommend the ways to minimize or occurrence of the frauds to the branch officials. Miscellaneous. Does the account indicate possible window dressing? This item is relevant with the checking of advances. While checking advances, we have to look whether any account has given overdrawing power or OD to regularize or not. If that is the case, we have to report that might be a window, possible window dressing is there. If in last days the branch officials are allowing loans against deposit to complete or to achieve his target, that might be a case of possible window dressing. Whether in last few days any loan against deposit is given, sanction and transferred to current account, and after balance sheet date within few days that same will be closed. You have to look in such cases. That might be a case of window dressing. Other matters for consideration of management or central statutory auditors. Now, fixed asset, inter-branch transfer, whether accounted properly or not. Assets in employees' residences shifted along with transferred employees. Depreciation on that have been calculated or not. Don't let the situation confuse you. In case of LFR, we should have direction, proper direction rather than the high speed. While drafting our views on LFR, we should have proper direction, but not the speed is important to complete the audit. If we are having 3-4 days, then the same should be allotted properly to complete the audit. From day one, we should focus how to report the discrepancies in LFR and in main audit report. There are around 60 written representation which should be asked by the branch auditors to the branch managers. These documents should be kept in our record, which will help in case our firm is in peer review audit. I will summarize the list of this document. If you are having pad and pen, you can note down. We have to ask for closing guidelines to the branch. Obtain a copy of closing circular issued by head office. This is the most important document we should have in our record. While discussing the asset side, I have mentioned that cash retention limit should be certified by the branch manager. We have a written letter from the branch official about the cash retention limit, and if possible,
and number we file the item for the acknowledgement where include the acknowledgement
issued by head office of the particular branch. A certificate from the branch manager stating that the excess cash holding is being reported to the controlling authority on regular basis. Whether the branch has reported excess cash to the controlling authorities or not, that should be certified from the branch officials for our working document purpose. A written confirmation from the branch manager that there is sufficient insurance cover for cash in hand and cash in transit. Though the same is taken care at head office level, the branch officials should have a photocopy of the insurance cover from the head office. Take a copy of the key register showing that the keys and key holders or key moment register we are talking about. A photocopy of each of the confirmation certificate for balances with RBI, SBI and other bank. Take photocopy of reconciliation statement for working purpose. A copy of reconciliation statement in respect of differences in such balances with the banks, if any, which are not responded for more than 6 months. A certificate stating that the branch did not hold any investment on behalf of the head office, if there are no such investment held by the branch. A certificate from the branch manager for physical verification of investment held by the branch on its own or on behalf of the head office at the year end. A copy of demat account relating to such investments. List of overdue or matured investment at the end of the year duly confirmed by the branch manager. List of large advances, that is those in respect of which the outstanding amount is in excess of 5% or rupees 2 crore, whichever lease is less. You should take a copy of this list of these advances duly certified by the branch manager. List of renewal proposals pending at branch level at the end of the year duly confirmed by the branch manager. If the account is not renewed or reviewed for more than 30 days, the same should be taken by the branch manager, certified by himself. A copy of letter from head office regarding sanction limit of the branch manager, the most important document for your reference, that the branch manager or branch officer have not exceeded their power while sanctioning any loan. List of proposals sanctioned during the year. Jotting of the advances for the particular year can be generated by the system within fraction of minute. You can take that jotting from the branch manager duly certified by him. so that while taking sample, while drawing sample, you should have an idea about the advances, about the amount of the advances, so that no product should be left unverified. Every product should get verification from your end, and for that you should have a jotting of the advances duly certified by the branch officials, branch manager during the year sanction and disbursed. List of cases where the prescribed period of 30 days for registration of creation of charge is over at the year end. List of cases where charge has not been created by the authorities or by the branch officials on the assets which are mortgaged or kept as security with the bank. The same should be taken by the branch of manager or branch official duly certified. List of cases where search reports obtained from professional for loan sanction at various companies. List of cases where the branch has not obtained acknowledgement of debt, balance confirmation letter at the year end. List of cases where the branch has not obtained book or stock statement at the year end. List of cases where the stock audit is mandatorily required to be carried out, but not carried out by the branch officials. Note down any adverse qualification in such stock audit reports and a copy of the portion of such qualified reports as to which contains the qualification. List of advances to non-corporate entities with limit of rupees 10 lakhs and above duly certified by the branch manager, and also look into the accounts which are having limits of rupees 10 lakhs and above, whether the financial statements or audit reports are kept at by the branch or not. Latest financial statements, audit reports, a copy of the circular from head office regarding the manner in which the compulsory audit to be carried out. It should be taken from the branch official. A certificate from the branch manager for inspection of or physical verification of securities charged to the bank. A statement from the branch head regarding cases of inspection due as on March 31st and inspection actually carried out during the year. List of cases where insurance copies are yet to be issued at the year end. A statement of credit card dues at the year end. Normally, credit card dues are not at every branch, but where credit cards are issued from the branch, you have to take credit card dues duly certified by the branch manager. A copy of head office instructions for identification of NP and classification of advances. A copy of the master circular issued by RBI. List of cases where authorized or legal action for recovery of advances are pending at the year end. This is the most important part. If any action, legal action, which is authorized but not initiated by the branch official, the same should be reported. A list of cases where legal action for recovery of advances or recalling of advances was authorized by the board of or local board. List of cases where rehabilitation programs have been initiated in respect of any non-performing asset and the status as at the year end and any developments in relation thereto. A confirmation from the branch manager that the branch has opted out of DICGC cover. List of cases pending under DICGC scheme. We have to report this in annexures also, in statements also, whether the branch has claimed under DICGC cover for any deposit or not. We have to mention these figures and list of such cases which are not reported or not claimed pending at branch level. We should take list of such cases from the branch official. List of cases where branch has obtained valuation report from approved valuers for fixed asset charged to the bank in respect of non-performing assets and any pending list at the year end. List of compromises, settlements, write-offs, cases during the year duly certified by the manager. List of guarantees invoked, paid but not adjusted at the year end. List of guarantees invoked but not paid at the year end. Confirmation from the branch manager that they have physically verified the stationery and stamped on hand at the year end. List of missing or lost items of such stationery at the year end duly certified by the branch manager. Copy of the exception report for sundry asset and suspense account. This exceptional report will work for you in case of peer review audit, whether you have verified the suspense or sundry assets account. Copy of exception report from bank for inoperative accounts in deposit. You have to take list of inoperative accounts from the branch officials. Obtain ledger extract of dates subsequent to the date of balance sheet. Obtain the exception report from the branch for mature term deposits at the end of the year. A certificate from the branch head in the prescribed format for old outstanding items pending for 3 years or more in respect of bills payable, sundry deposit, etc. Normally, these items are not in branch, any branch nowadays due to CBS. Many of these items are washed out, and if long pending are there, you should report. Obtain representation from the branch management that all contingent liabilities have been disclosed and that the disclosed contingent liabilities do not include any contingencies which are likely to result in loss and which therefore require consequent adjustment of assets and liabilities. The same should be reported properly in the balance sheet and should be duly certified by the branch management. List of legal disputes for chances of arising of contingent liabilities. A copy of the instructions of the controlling authorities of the bank regarding charging of interest to non-performing assets. Normally, non-performing assets, we are not charging any interest to that account. But if these accounts are regularized during the year, so guidelines from the head office regarding charging of interest to these non-performing assets should be there. A certificate from the branch manager for balancing of books at the end of the year. Obtain copy of security policy, disaster recovery plan in respect of comprised branches. Whether the backup is taken properly or not, we should have report of that also. At proper time, the backup should be taken, and it should be kept at two places: one within the premises and out of the premises. List of major items pending for reconciliation under inter-branch accounts. Normally, these items are not there because of CBS. In day or two, the same items are rectified by the branches. Inter-branch adjustment accounts are not there. Note down the period and date of all previous audit reports like control audit, inspections by RBI, internal audit by the bank head office or bank officials. There might be some audits. Revenue audit is there. List of all fraud cases reported to RBI as fraud up to March 31st of our year. Obtain a brief history of each fraud discovered during the year, if any. A certificate from the branch head for carrying out physical verification of the fixed asset at the end of the year. Normally, physical verification of the asset should be done twice by the branch official, one on 30th September and one on 31st March. It should be registered, properly maintained by the bank. We should take a copy from the branch officials about the inspection carried out by the branch manager or branch official. Management representation letter has to be taken from the branch manager as regards the availability of title deeds for removable properties at the branch. List of advances which have been updated from NPA to standard during the year and the reason for the same. A list of time bar decrease duly confirmed by the branch manager, and as discussed earlier, that we should take management representation letter from the branch manager before or during completion of our audit. I have pointed out around about 23 detailed changes in revised LFR that with compared to previous LFR, which was revised in the year 2003. In the year 2021, the LFR was revised by RBI, and that was third time revision. Firstly, it was introduced or revised in the year 1985. In the year 1993, it was first revised. In year 2003, it was secondly revised, and lastly revised in the year 21. There are more than 23 changes which were observed by me with compared to last LFR. In this LFR, revised LFR, we have to answer illustratively to each and every question instead of simply yes, no, or not applicable. Please do not replica the previous year's LFR for current year's LFR. Observations and remarks or comment of our own should be mentioned in the LFR. Do not copy from the previous year. Do not allow your staff, or the branch officers to prepare the LFR. Prepare LFR on your own. Most of the time, what happens, the branch officers are giving us spoon feeding, ready to eat LFR. Please do not do this, as LFR is the most important document of our audit report, and for that the bank is giving additional 10% fees to us. Please keep in mind that LFR is the most important document to compile the audit report at zonal level by the central statutory auditor. Very detailed working and documentation have to be carried out while preparing the revised LFR. RBI is expecting from the auditor that the forensic audit should be carried out just like statutory audit. The information system audit should be carried out in statutory audit by the auditors. They are expecting that we should comment on the NPS grievance system in the same bank from various auditors is different. So this is all about the LFR. I hope I have covered all the areas. If any questions are there, welcome. Chairman sir.
Yes, in the am I audible?
Yeah.
In the chat box.
Hello.
See, the situation is that as at the year end, we find that the account is NPA.
Yeah.
But before the signing the audit report, the bank officials tried the efforts for recovering the account and made the account regular. Then before the signing the audit, what should be the treatment in the audit report and what to consider by the auditor? That is the general question which normally auditor face during the course of the bank audit.
Good. What happened as an auditor? We are watchdog, not bloodhound. So if that account is get regularized before signing our audit report, we should mention only that much. But you have to, if that account was categorized as NPA, so no need to issue MOC.
Okay.
But if that account was not categorized as NPA and account was regularized during our audit procedure, so no need to issue MOC even, but you should simply write in your main audit report that so and so account was NPA as on 31st March, but on say 2nd or 3rd of April, the same was regularized by repayment of this much amount by the borrower.
Okay. Okay. That's right.
In this case, there might be a difference of opinion that some may say that you should issue MOC. But as far as my opinion is concerned, no need to issue MOC if the account is regularized during our completion of audit.
Okay. Yes. 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 No problem.
Any other questions? Is Anand Sarla in the? Is Anand Sarla is there? संदीप नोटके सर नमस्कार.
सर नमस्ते.
कसे आहात सर?
सर व्यवस्थित.
एनी क्वेश्चन्स?
सर आनंद सर.
हा बोला सर. राहुल सर बोला.
सर तुम्हाला जसं स्टार्टिंगलाही म्हटलं होतं मी की थोडीशी जी एक प्रोसिजर आहे ना अलॉटमेंटची सगळ्या जर तुम्ही परत सांगू शकला तर खूप बरं होईल.
बघा आता अलॉटमेंटची प्रोसिजर जी आरबीआय ची आणि इन्स्टिट्यूट ऑफ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटंट्स ऑफ इंडिया हे दोघं मिळून त्यांनी जी क्रायटेरिया ठरवलेले आहेत त्या अनुसार आता अलॉटमेंट होणार आहे. इन्स्टिट्यूटने आपलं एक सॉफ्टवेअर बनवलेलं आहे जे की आता प्रत्येक बँकेने ते फॉलो करायला पाहिजे. मागच्या वर्षी सुद्धा इन्स्टिट्यूटने आपलं सॉफ्टवेअर दिलेलं होतं पण ते लास्ट मोमेंटला आल्यामुळं बहुतेक बँकांनी ते काही इम्प्लिमेंट केलं नव्हतं. या वर्षी इन्स्टिट्यूट जे सॉफ्टवेअर देणार आहे जी आपली लिस्ट देणार आहे त्याप्रमाणे बँकांनी ते अलॉटमेंट करायचे आहे. कारण की बऱ्याचदा असं होते की लॉंग टाइम नो पर्सन इज गेटिंग ऑडिट फॉर मोर दॅन 5 years, 10 years, 8 years. तर ह्या कंप्लेंट भरपूर इन्स्टिट्यूटकडे गेलेल्या आहेत. पण काही जे रुमर्स आहेत की बा आपल्याला मॅनेज करून ऑडिट येतील वगैरे अशातला प्रकार आता नाही. पूर्वी तो कधी होता असं मी म्हणजे कन्फर्म करू शकत नाही. पण आता तरी कोणी अशा आमिषांना बळी पडू नये आणि आपल्याला फेअर ट्रान्सपरंट प्रोसिजरने अलॉटमेंट येतील आणि इन्स्टिट्यूटचं स्वतःचं असं म्हणणं आहे की बा सगळ्यांना काम मिळालं पाहिजे. आणि माझं एक मत आहे की जे लोक म्हणतात आता बँक ऑडिट कमी होणार आहेत वगैरे अशातला प्रकार नाही. कारण की डे बाय डे बँकिंग ही रिस्की होत चाललेली आहे. त्यामुळे बँक ऑडिट हे कंपल्सरी होणार आहेत आणि त्याचा जो बेस आहे तो वाढणार आहे. आणि ज्या ब्रांचेस आता मर्ज झालेले आहेत त्यांचा जो टर्नओव्हरचा क्रायटेरिया आहे तो पण फुलफिल होणार आहे. त्यामुळं जवळपास सगळ्या ब्रांचेस ऑडिटला राहणारच आहेत. 20 कोटीच्या आतल्या ब्रांचेस फार कमी राहिलेल्या आहेत आता. त्यामुळे 20 कोटीच्या वर जितक्याही ब्रांचेस आहेत सगळ्या ऑडिटला येतील आणि वन्स इन अ 5 yearच्या ज्या ऑडिटच्या ब्रांचेस आहेत त्या सुद्धा आता जास्तच राहणार आहेत.
ओके.
आणि 15 तारखेपासून तुम्ही अलॉटमेंटच्या याच्यावर लक्ष राहू द्या. मेल चेक करत राहा वारंवार. कारण की ऑफर लेटर कधी चालू करतील हे आपल्याला लक्षात येत नाही बऱ्याच वेळा. आणि ज्यांचे कोर्सेस झालेले आहेत कॉन्करंट ऑडिट कोर्स, इन्फॉर्मेशन सिस्टीम ऑडिट कोर्स यांनी तर काळजीपूर्वक बघायला पाहिजे मेल. कारण की अलॉटमेंट साठी भरपूर गोष्टी ग्राह्य धरल्या जातात. अजून काही?
थँक्यू सर ही व्हॅल्युएबल इन्फॉर्मेशन शेअर केल्याबद्दल.
आणि अलॉटमेंट सगळ्यांना व्हाव्यात ही इच्छा इन्स्टिट्यूटची आहे. कारण की इन्स्टिट्यूट आपल्या लोकांसाठी नवीन नवीन एव्हेन्यूज तयार करण्याच्या मागे असते आणि सगळ्यांना काम मिळावं हे उद्देश आहे. आणि दुसरी एक रिक्वेस्ट आहे माझी, जितके आपले पार्टिसिपंट आहेत त्यांनी ऐकावं. जे ज्युनियर्स आहेत त्यांना तुम्ही तुमच्या सोबत ऑडिट साठी अकोमोडेट करा. आणि ऑडिट रिपोर्ट बनवताना समजा जी ब्रांच तुमच्याकडे ऑडिटला आहे ती मागच्या वर्षी जर ऑडिट मध्ये नसेल तर मागच्या वर्षीचे एनपीए आणि आताचे एनपीए कम्पेअर करून त्याच्यात हायलाइट करा की मागच्या वर्षी जर ती ऑडिटमध्ये असती तर एनपीएचं प्रमाण काय असतं आणि आताची ऑडिटमध्ये आहे ते एनपीएचं प्रमाण काय आहे, जेणेकरून आरबीआयला हे सुचेल किंवा ऑडिटमध्ये असल्यावर एनपीए कंट्रोलमध्ये राहतात. एवढं गॅरंटेड आहे की मागच्या जेव्हा ती ऑडिटमध्ये नसेल ब्रांच तर एनपीए वाढलेलेच असतील, त्यांचे लक्ष देणार कोण नसते तिथे. आणि नवीन मुलांना अकोमोडेट करा, त्यांना एक्सपिरियन्स येऊ द्या ब्रांचेसचं. ब्रांच ऑडिटचं एक्सपिरियन्स नसल्यावर समजा त्या मुलांना कधी अलॉटमेंट आले तर ते त्यांची क्वालिटी पूर्णपणे देऊ शकत नाही. ही आपली जबाबदारी आहे सिनियर लोकांची की नवीन मुलांना, नवीन मेंबर्सला अकोमोडेट करून घ्यायला पाहिजे.
एक अजून एक सजेशन सगळ्यांसाठी की जर आता कोणत्या मोठ्या ब्रांचेस जर आल्या ना तर त्या बाबतीमध्ये आपले जे प्रिव्हियस ऑडिटर्स आहेत, नॉर्मली ही मेथड मी फॉलो करतो, तर त्या ऑडिटर्सशी आपण एकदा बोलून घ्यावं की आपण बाबा त्या ब्रँचसाठी तुम्ही ऑडिट केले होते तर तुम्हाला काही असं काही महत्वाचे काही पॉईंट्स तुम्हाला लक्षात काही आले का, या कोणत्या एरियामध्ये आम्ही तिथं स्ट्रेस द्यावं आणि कोणत्या एरियाला आम्ही कव्हर करावं, ज्याच्यामुळे तुम्हाला एक पूर्ण आयडिया येऊन जाईल आणि त्या ऑडिटरकडनं तुम्हाला सजेशन चांगलं मिळेल.
एक्झॅक्टली. आणि आपल्याला मोबाईल नंबर आणि नाव दोन्ही येत असतात प्रिव्हियस ऑडिटरचे.
हो.
तर आपण ते बोलायलाच पाहिजे आणि आपण एनओसी साठी जे आपण आपली प्रोसिजर आहे
पाठवायलाच पाहिजे
करतो, तर त्याला ते लेटर पाठवल्यावर एक फोन केला ना तर आपल्याला त्याच्यात फार मोठा बेनिफिट होऊ शकतो. कोणत्या एरियाकडे आपल्याला लक्ष द्यायचं आहे, आपल्याला आपलं ऑडिट प्लॅन करायला सोपं जाते.
येस.
आणि ऑडिट प्लॅन जेव्हा करतो ना तेव्हा आपली स्टेशनरी, स्टॅम्प, आपल्याला काय काय लागणार आहे ते सगळं सोबत घेऊन जा, जेणेकरून तिथल्या तिथे ऑडिट रिपोर्ट बनवा. लॅपटॉप वगैरे आता सगळं अवेलेबल आहे आपल्याकडे. पूर्वी आपल्याला आपल्या ब्रांचला येऊन काम करून कम्प्लीट करून रिपोर्ट पाठवा लागत होते, आता तिथल्या तिथं द्या तुम्ही कम्प्लीट करून. एमओसी येत असेल तर अवॉइड करू नका, एमओसी द्या आणि त्याला कन्व्हिन्स करा की एमओसी दिल्याने ब्रांचचा काय फायदा आहे, एमओसी टाळू नका.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. I guess there are no more questions. Indeed, it was a valuable contribution and a seminar taken by you. Now I request CA Rahul, sir, to present vote of thanks.
I, CA Rahul Darne, on behalf of Latur branch of WRC of ICI, thanks CA Anand Chandak sir and all the participants, my seniors, colleagues, for patiently listening to the views presented by Anand Chandak sir. His experience and vast knowledge in banking sector is very helpful for us. And also at last the details he shared about the allotment procedure of bank audit is very useful for all of us. And with this vote of thanks, I officially conclude this session with the permission of our chairman Sri Dwarkadas Ji Bhutda, vice chairman Sri Vishwas Ji Jadhav sir, and thanks a lot everyone.
Okay, thank you.